so here we are. I'm just getting back to Tillage. Hopefully we'll finish this field. Then we can have Courseplay start with the big one. I should do more videos. I'm trying. Slowly getting back into FS here after a half a year break. Anyways, hopefully you guys don't mind the music. Not my ideal kind of music, but it's royalty free, so YouTube doesn't punish us. So this is actually one of our smaller fields. Not the smallest, but we also own 15. So what's everyone up to? Doing anything interesting in Farm Sim? No? Yeah? I feel like it's a little early to do a live stream, but I don't know. Came home and I didn't feel like doing much else, so. It would be nice if Giants was complex to the point where there was a difference between till and no till. So you didn't have to plow and do tillage and things like that if you didn't want to. You guys hear my microphone and whatnot? seems like every time I record a video, there's something that isn't right. It's either too quiet or not on. Not sure how that happens, but it really does. Look who it is, it's Joe. Becoming a regular at this point. Last night we were invited into the random Spark Squad Discord, so that was interesting. So it's pretty amazing. We're burning through 172 liters of fuel an hour. Which is like what? Close to like 45 gallons maybe an hour? Which I feel is a bit high. You know, these tractors when they're full throttle burn like maybe 25 gallons an hour. Sometimes even down to like 18 gallons. But it's fluctuating. It's that realistic fuel mod, but I'm not too sure how realistic it is. Really tempted to not even rip the headlamps in this field. Probably should. Anyways, for people that are wondering where that farm was in my last kind of video series, it's right there, right northeast. That's that small dairy farm we were playing on. I still have that save game. Might go back and, you know, tinker around with that. I forgot where we left off, so. Give you guys a break from all this tillage. This farm we're using some larger equipment, newer equipment. In that other save game we were using some older equipment. smaller operation. I think all those fields combined were maybe like 160, under 200 acres, I think, so not a big operation. Meanwhile, this Troutbrook Farms, we're farming close to 1,000, if not a little bit over that at this point. We'll figure it out when we start planting. I don't know about you guys, but initially I thought these new RX tractors were pretty ugly. Well, just the new R series. When it had the steel tanks on it, I thought that was pretty stupid, but these poly tanks allow, you know, a little bit more sleek profile, more visibility. Makes sense. But I think these larger tracks just, I don't know, it's grown on me. I'm a fan now. Initially I was not. I was more of a quad track guy, a case guy, but tempted to redo. I wanted to buy this model, and I'm pretty sure it's UV mapped. The way this model currently is, they're using UV mapping, but it's gonna burn my green texture into it. I mean, the RX is pretty badass with the tracks, but like Matt was saying, the 22 and 30-inch row crop duals, that looks pretty mint. Anything with 800mm or any LSW tire on these new gears just looks pretty mean and powerful. If I had it my way and if I was an actual farmer, I think the dream would be to own the tracks, right? Especially if you're running in a more northern climate where the soils are pretty heavy and wet. Genuinely surprised it took this long for John Deere to make a 4-track tractor. I'm not gonna lie, the old RTs with the dual tracks, I was a huge fan of those, but when it comes to turning, it's a piece of shit, really. Especially when you're going in, mucky conditions where these tracks are supposed to be, that's their element. If any of you guys watch Millennial Farmer, he kind of he demoed an RX, but they traded in an old generation before the RX, the new R series. Before the R series, actually. And while he was demoing the RX, he was mentioning about how their RT, you know, has no issues going through the mud if you're going straight, right? But the minute you try to turn all of it, there's issues. So there's actually a church that's supposed to be here. I haven't finished the model for it, or the parking lot, but eventually it will be there, where the grassy patch is. So one thing I noticed is there's a lot of churches in this region. Hey, what's up? Sorry, Joe, I don't understand what you're saying. Your sentence doesn't really make sense. Something about a farming accident. My neighbor, her husband was killed in a farming accident. You don't really hear too much about that, about farming accidents these days. It's more frequent in farmers that are using kind of the old dated equipment, because that shit was, you know, dangerous. I don't really care who you are. Oh, shit. I think the equipment they make these days are geared more towards safety. Not like you can't get hurt, but like, you know, same thing with construction equipment. You gotta use a little bit of common sense when you're working around large equipment, especially with, you know, high moving parts, rotating parts. So my mom's dad and you know, my mom's parents, they, you know, she grew up on a farm. They were farmers. Not, you know, their farm is actually maybe like 5 miles outside where this map is. So she grew up pretty close to where this map is. She went to Osceola. Her and my dad went to Osceola, like, high school. But she grew up on a farm, and things were well. I actually had to do a report when I was back in, I don't know, high school or something like that. Like the Great Depression or something. What am I hitting? And they were thriving during the 1929, 1930s, because back then, farmers, they were self-sufficient. They were buying cars, color TVs, went on vacation, while the rest of the world was like burning. So it's kind of interesting to get that kind of perspective. And owned a lot of woods. Apparently the woods were always spotless. Do I live near Osceola? No, I grew up near Osceola. I actually went to high school, grew up in Amory, which is like the next town over. But grew up north of Stark Prairie, which is a very, very small town. It's like 500 people. So yeah, I know this area very well. A lot of the family or my relatives live around the area. Across the river in Minnesota, and a little bit further south to Hudson area. So. No, this is Osceola, Wisconsin. So I forget how many cows they were milking on the farm back in the day. But back then they were farming like I think it was 400, maybe 500 acres, which that was a pretty large operation back then. That's a large operation today. Tractors they had back then were pretty tiny. Sorry to hear that, Joe. Can't believe we finished this field. Maybe I should plow these pieces here. Yeah, so they were running a pretty large operation. The hired help, they were called, actually lived in their house. They had like 6 or 7 bedroom house. The workers actually lived there with them, and then when he retired, Grandpa's name was Emmett. When he retired, he actually gave some of the land to some of his longtime workers. Not the family members. These weren't family members. These were just his workers. What's surprising is, I don't want to go down this road, my bad, is my mom, she had an older brother, just one brother, and he did not want to take over the farm. And of course, my mom has, what, 5 sisters? And none of them wanted to take over the farm, so no one inherited the farm. We inherited the land, and the farm was sold off to a neighbor. So I guess I would say I'm one generation removed from what could have been a pretty fun life, actually. If someone, let's say my mom inherited that farm, never ever would that ever happen, but it would be pretty easy to have been farming 1,000+ acres, you know, this day and age, which, you know, that's pretty respectable in terms of crop farming. But it was pretty interesting. I flew back from Mother's Day, as I mentioned before, and we were driving around. For whatever reason, my mom wanted to come with. I was taking pictures I was driving down all these roads and taking pictures, because a lot of these back roads, Google Maps doesn't allow you to, you know, view. It was like a history lesson. It was pretty incredible, because she knew everyone. She knew every single family farm around here. She knew all the kids, all their parents, what they're doing today. It's pretty incredible. I find it hilarious that I do farming simulator on the computer. Rehand lens is probably good, right? Oh, that calculated a hell of a lot faster. What is this? What is this trash? I don't want this. Privileges, Jake? What do you mean? Oh, like admin? Houston, we have a problem. Yes, sir. Jakey Poo! Dude, we have a serious issue with Courseplay. have known. Alright, so clearly this map is too big for Courseplay. So, what are we gonna do? Let's try to calculate. We'll save it as total. We will go to fieldwork, see. Fieldwork, right? We will select field 12. We'll go to calculate. Let's do automatic, because, you know, why the fuck not? We will do headlines last. And we'll generate course. It's taking longer. I like where this is going. I might actually do the whole course instead of the headline this time. Generated. Nope. Nope. What the hell? This is kind of hilarious. We broke Courseplay. This field is too big. Turn. Turn. Well, screw it. Let's just have Courseplay do its thing. If Courseplay only wants to do headlands, we'll let him do headlands. City models. What does that name stand for? What kind of models? Chapel will the map be always private? Hard to say. It's in its infancy. You know, I always thought Wind Chaser was going to be private, but what happened with that? So you never really know. Alright, so we'll let Courseplay do its thing. I'm gonna crank these numbers up here. Sky small on ass. Great. Sinister Socks wants powers. Sure, why not? Shall this guy get back to this shit here? Didn't I already say where I was from in this live stream like 5 minutes ago? I really need to fix the cultivator sound on this lawnmower. We got the big wig in here, the big cheese, hey? Big kahuna of the Discord. I was so confused with that Discord. I've never used it before. Last night was the first time. Popped my cherry on that. Remember FS17, you know, not really. Vague memories. remember when you had a great demand, you had 1 hour to get all of your shit to the sell point. So I remember trying to use Courseplay to get like 20 trucks. That's what I remember. I remember the Dakota, the Salem Dakota map by Fertile. Is it Fertile J? I think it was. I could be mistaken. But that was like my first map I've ever attempted to do an edit. And I made like a grain farm or something. Yeah, the map, I mean, for what it is, you know, it was flat, square fields, but, which are great for like Courseplay and things like that. It was one of the first like really big maps, which was cool. And then I remember using Julian's 595 Cat Comet, or Big Boss modding, when he was kind of pretty active. He made those cat combines. What FPS I'm getting here? 40. And then when you get way over there, it's pretty terrible. But I have a lot of errors in this map right now with textures. I want to know what the secret was. It's something I don't know. Mother of God. I had to change the title to WIP. Oh shit, I changed it to Woos. Whatever, works. Yeah, no, I did change it to WIP. The title says WIP, which is an abbreviation. Work in progress. Reminds me of some of the senile patients I work on. Doctor last week told me this. Yeah, that was me. Forgot who I was over a week. The American modding community life? No idea. Yes, no tolerance in the chat. I like it as well. Jake's on that shit. Like stink on poo. Curious how our tillage dude's doing. Alright, so he's gonna do like 4 headline passes, and apparently we have to figure out how to do this ourselves. Since Courseplay, like, you know what, I'm thinking not. voice kind of has a random error. Anytime you tab out of this thing and it's running, you have to like hire a worker and then like dismiss the worker for it to get the glitch to like come back. American Eagle seems dead. Yeah, I haven't been on that website in years. Years. Big box modding? I'm pretty sure Julian is like the big boss of big boss modding. And then there was Raphael. I think he's still active. He's with custom modding now. They're both Brazilian, so it makes sense. And then there's Xavier, who is kind of like a third party who still is kind of modding under the Big Boss Modding name. And then there's what's his face that does the YouTube videos and whatnot, which he was kind of adopted. He was adopted into the family. But I think Julian's busy farming in real life with his family, so it's kind of sayonara to the old farm sim. To this day, I think he still has like the most likes on Facebook. He's like the most popular farm sim channel. But in terms of like YouTube subscriptions, there's other people that like are completely crushing it that aren't even modders, which is surprising, but not really at the same time. You know, if I had to do it all over again, I would go to like just doing mod reviews and using other people's shit instead of actually modding. Jake needs a promotion. Jake, what else can you get promoted to? You're a moderator. I gotta tab out of this shit. This song is, I'm not feeling it. It's gonna be a hard pass. Hard pass. You don't want this map. Trust me. Trust me. You know, the 6Rs, they're not a bad tractor, but the headlight design thing, this like bug-eyed, this weird bug-eyed thing, it's got like an Aaron Rodgers to it. Bug eyes. It's just huge, ugly headlights. Where their R series looks like legit awesome. These 6Rs are just like, meh. They got the panel roof, but then they got the bug-eyed lights. Come on, come on! Whoever designed this shit needs to be fired. Have you guys ever noticed how agriculture equipment's becoming more like cars? Like, they have agriculture shows, like they have auto shows, and it's all about the design and the appearance of the new equipment. Agriculture equipment has become fashionable. You know, I was just talking to Cole the other day about this. You guys probably know him as CWJ, but we said if we ever get to the point in our lives where we have hobby farms, our tractor of choice is going to be the 7R. Because it's big enough to do work, yet small enough that, you know, you don't lose your ass on purchasing that piece of equipment. You can put a front end loader on it, you can do tillage with it, you can do everything with a 7R. Yeah, Giant's units are metric, so a 16x is meaning 16x, that's the area of a regular map. But the edges of this map are 8 kilometer by 8 kilometer. Where the in-game standard maps are 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. And okay, let's say you buy 200 acres or 300 acres. Whatever. You drop. What's an acre of agricultural land now? 10,000. That's for like tiled land, probably. My dad paid like 4,500 or something for his land. So let's say you drop 800 grand on some land, turn it into tillable acres. You can farm that with a 7R, no problem. It will take probably like 10 to 20 years to pay for itself, but you can still do it. You know what, Jake? I have a great idea. You're probably not gonna like it, but it will make for some interesting. A Puma? Yeah, you really cannot go wrong with any kind of, you know, I would say 180 horse, 200 horsepower tractor. You can do a lot of work with that kind of equipment. If you want to farm 1,000 acres, you're probably going to want to rethink your priorities here, but I want to spice things up here in the chat. Battle Royale. You know, speaking, you know, when we're talking about like Case IH, I do like those, the generation before the current like Magnums, the MX. I think those are still pretty, you know, good looking piece of equipment. You know, the thing about Kubota is it's trash. When I think of Kubota, I think of like Dodge or something. Not a Dodge Diesel, just Dodge, like a Dodge Caravan. That's what I think of when I think of Kubota. Like a Honda Civic. As random Sparks would appreciate. When I think of Kubota, I think of some retired asshole that lives on a lake somewhere, and it's not even a tractor. It's like a gator. It's like one of those like side-by-sides. That's what I think of Kubota. I do not have Discord. I was invited to Sinister Stocks Discord actually last night. Troll comments are the best. Got him. Farva got him. Kubota mules. You know, I've never seen a slower side-by-side. Literally, a golf cart will go faster than a Kubota mule. And they're loud as hell. They're the loudest freaking things on this planet. A Kubota mule. Not only do they go slow as hell, they're loud as fuck. But I do give them props for their glass enclosured cabs. Those are pretty nice. But that doesn't compensate for the other slowness and the loudness. $22,000 on Instagram. I remember when Instagram used to be cool. No. No, I don't. Instagram is like the most pointless thing. I don't even know why I have an Instagram page. It's so pointless. Kubota Kawasaki? No idea. I actually have a KX125. We also have a Kawasaki Prairie 4-wheeler. The thing's kind of old though. Both of them are trash. I'd rather have a Honda. They have the dual exhaust. Or at least a 4-stroke. 2-stroke dirt bikes. Sound cool, no power, no torque. My dad was a big Yamaha guy, and for whatever reason, growing up as a kid, I liked Kawasaki green. I think it was because of James Stewart, the black guy. He was always crushing it. Ricky Carmichael, he was always flip-flopping in between Honda, Suzuki. He's, you know, going all over the place. And then he retired. You know, I was always the underdog guy, right? I gotta see this deleted message. Hold on. Manager Garbo. Anyways, I've always kind of been a green guy, so that's probably why I gravitate towards Deere and Kawasaki. Whatever the reason behind that is, couldn't tell you. No idea. Other than I think the color's kind of cool. But I also think it's kind of ugly. So, explain that one. I definitely think the red and black is a better color combination. So I think Case wins that one. Although Fendt does have black, as does Challenger, so tempting. Black is a great color, except during, you know, pretty much any other time than it's brand new and newly washed. Like during the winter, black looks like trash. If if you live in the north, you have salt, black looks like trash. When you're in the sun, black looks like trash because you see all the swirl marks in anyone that's dried the paint on your car. But brand new, right out of the factory, black is the best. That's pretty much where it ends. When you get into real world conditions, black just doesn't look great. The Fent Ideal the one that like Giants is spamming all over the place, I did see that. Like I said, you know, agriculture is turning into a freaking fashion show. It's all about the design of the new equipment. I gotta go to the bathroom here. I'll be back in a jiffy. Someone got another timeout. Oh shit, we're gonna deal with this guy again. Telling you right now, 19 is gonna be trash. It's gonna be 17 with a 19 on the box, but with horses apparently. Jessica? It's me, Jessica. Terrible movie quote. Do girls actually play and watch Farming Simulator? sucks. Flesh of blood. Terrible. Next. Catfished. Damn it. It's probably errant dearth. Stage 5 clinger. Pretty sure Jake remembers that guy. I saw someone post a picture of his chat the other day on one of the channels, or one of the Facebook groups. Stage 5 clinger is what he is. He used to put like my mod pictures as his profile picture. It's pretty bad. Dirth. Yes, the anarchy. I don't see half that stuff because the people are all blocked. Yep. This music is also trash. Next world border, trash. Shit, no, I would still be playing 13 if it had a better light shader engine. That's the only downside with 13 is the lights was light the game. Couldn't do any kind of work in the dark. We just ban the guy. We just get it over with. Just hide it completely. I'm not buying it this time. Oh, this song is also trash. What is this? Amaya's Tomb? Nope. Oh, this sounds terrible as well. It's just getting started. Nope. What does this sound like? Let's go to the beginning. I've mowed this much of this field. Waste of time. Is there anything better to do? This guy, let's fill him up. Let's go spread over shit over a field somewhere. Oh, what kind of fields do we have here? This is cool, like you can like move around in the PDA. I do like that. Good job, Giants. You figured something out right. 55, 39, very nice. Growing. Those are growing. So, I guess we don't have anything else left. So this guy's just doing headline passes because he doesn't, Courseplay doesn't want us to tell this whole field apparently. So what I think what I'll do when the time comes and this guy finishes we'll just lease another tractor in the river and use follow me mod to do this a little bit quicker. Take some cool pictures. Meanwhile, this field's all done. It's all plowed. Oh shit, forgot that edge. Oh well. So we'll hop in this guy. We're out of seed and fertilizer. Interesting. Alright, so 38 was corn. Do we plant more corn? Probably, right? Continue to use corn. RX road track negative. That's a negative. D-Long, I've seen you using a 40-45 sprayer. I've seen you. I've seen the pictures. There's evidence out there. Good enough. It's good enough. It's not a spray, it's a spreader. It's both actually. So you're like half right. Honestly, we're spending way too much money on seed and fertilizer. It's ridiculous. So this little guy, 9370R, just a little guy. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna have Courseplay run this bitch. We're in 38. We are southwest, starting direction. Let's go north. Let's do 2 LMS's last and go. Do I own the pivots? No, these are static map objects. I tried to use the pivots, but they won't work. I mean, let me rephrase that. They would work, however, they wouldn't show up with wheels. And when you index the wheels properly, they wouldn't load, and it would throw an LUA error about the wheel. See how the See how the dirt's coming out from the wheels? Yeah, that mod by Giants, the tire dirt module, whatever. Yeah, that one let me use, so I'd have to delete that, which, you know, why not? It's not a big deal. Trailworks are so last year. I'm not gonna lie. D-Long's on something here. I'm gonna save this as 38 plant 16 row. And they're off. Bridge markers deactivate. We're officially planting in spring here. See that little shit that's coming up from the wheels? Yeah, that's what's throwing an LU error that's causing the game not to load with the pivots. Send me an updated version with the new Firestones as an option. Totally use it, man. So that guy's doing shit. This guy's doing work. This guy's expensive and not doing anything. Screw it. Let's go spread stuff somewhere. Juicy stuff. Tempted to spread this field as we're mowing it, but since my mower scripted as a cultivator, it probably won't make sense. We have fields up here somewhere. I think we're just gonna till under the soybeans up here because they didn't yield that great. Am I doing? Oh, I messed that up. Oh Nick, where is here? I don't know where here is. Pretty sure Jake is very wet as well. Calm down, Dylan. Calm down. Oh, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Speed your turn ass up. Speed up. Buddy. Indiana. Well, I'm in Massachusetts, so it's pretty dry here. I don't know. This music's trash. Next. It's kind of interesting growing up in Wisconsin where everyone thinks Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers are the greatest all time. And then you move out to New England and people literally jerk off to Tom Brady's face. People like to make the argument that Tom Brady is the greatest of all times because of the Super Bowl, which is valid. However, when you're arguing, who's the better individual, you need to refer to the Madden. The Madden is always right. It's the oracle of the NFL. And Aaron Rodgers is ranked, higher. So there you go. Discussion over. I'm not even surprised. I'm not even surprised by that comment. That was predictable. This guy's still doing his thing. I should turn on. So this guy's backing his ass up. Okay, good. He's doing his thing. Great. And what else is there to do around here? That's right. Mow corn stalks. Nope. Error. Nope, still an error. No. Mower wasn't working. My bad. Nick, great question. In real life, I think chopping corn stalks is stupid. Unless, you know, people bale this shit for their cows and beef and shit. But you're taking so many nutrients out of the field, it's gonna cost you a fortune to put those nutrients back in fertilizer cost. However, this is Farm Sim, and it does have a great benefit. This isn't 100% waste of my time, as it appears. When I till this field, this chop straw residue will add 1 fertilization point to this field. So there is a benefit, believe it or not. Because the price of fertilizer currently is ridiculous, because it costs me 10 grand to fill up my fertilizer spreader. Telling you right now, if I had traffic driving down this road, they'd be like, what is that idiot doing? Tiny ass motor. You know, in terms of breaking up the residue, there's probably a more efficient way. You know, they make like disc and disc rippers for a reason. You know, combination tillage tools like the 2730. You can take care of your compaction layer and size up your residue at the same time. Right, you want the residue on the field. What a lot of people do is they just use a chopping corn head, leave that shit stay in the field over winter. Come springtime, it's pretty much decomposed enough to just go over it with the disc once you're ready to go. If you don't have winter, I guess maybe you have to figure out a different strategy where the mower makes sense. Gotta feed the moo-moo. I feel like there's better ways to feed the moo-moo than like just chopping your corn stalk residue. I could be wrong, but I feel like there's better ways to do it. And you're not feeding your moo-moos straw. This shit is just baled for bedding. I'm pretty sure. You know what, if this was rented ground, I'm pretty sure the landowner wouldn't give a shit what you're doing because he's getting paid either way. You want to mow those corn stalks? I don't care. Go for it. Knock yourself out there, buddy. Who finished? Our sprayer. He finished that shit already? Damn. Stop. Stop what you're doing. Will I play 19? Of course I'll play 19. Will I mod for 19? That's my response to that. I still haven't fixed and converted all my mods from 50. Apparently we own this cornfield. Well, you know, they really shouldn't put coolers in these tractors because you know what everyone puts in those coolers, right? Exactly. As I drive by the access road. This tiny ass field? When did I buy this thing? Whatever, it's somewhere. What field is this? This is 39. We are in the northeast. We are west. Good enough. Whatever. Let's do it the other way this time. Headlands west. What? What? Better. I like it. $700 bushel corn in the future. Well, this guy's on his penultimate pass. The second to last. This guy is making zero progress in terms of planting. He's going nowhere. He should be done by now. Oh my god, he's gotta back up. And use turn thing. He's backing up way too much. There's no reason why you need to back up that much. For show. The 120 would take care of this field in no time. The only downside is my 120 is like overscaled by like nobody's business. It's trash. That's why I never use it. Oh, now he's driving forward. Now he's backing his ass up again. And we're going forward again. That's why it's taking forever. Would you say this is 22-inch spacing? This is definitely not 30-inch spacing. You need to update the tires here. Okay, corn on corn. Totally forgot to plow this side of the field, but not a big deal. It's a small section. Yeah, this guy's been in the cooler for sure. He's in chill mode. He's in like Coors mode, actually, probably. need to stay hydrated, I guess. And we're gonna fly back over here. We have a guy working over here somewhere. Where is he? I guess he's right here. There he is. This guy's burning fuel, doing work. I like it. McLovin. So this is the size of the field that we're apparently mowing corn stalks in. Hilarious, I know. Stupid, so stupid. We have a guy somewhere spreading. We should probably buy these wheels. These are close. Pretty decent. We own this one. We're missing trees here. Need some TLC. This guy. There he is. You know, I kind of grew up, my family's always kind of had Ford growing up, and every single, every vehicle was bought new. Never owned a used vehicle, and literally every Ford we had turned to literal shit. My mom had a Ford car, my dad had multiple Ford trucks, then we had an Expedition, and they all literally rusted out like nobody's business. The engines turned to shit. Transmissions were weak as fuck. So in terms of, and then they switched to GM vehicles, Chevy and GMC, and no issues at all, ever. So I've always kind of grew up as a Ford guy, and then I've kind of changed over to GM, like Chevy, GMC, and never really a Dodge guy, although I like the sound of the Dodge Cummins. I just feel like Dodge is pretty cheap quality. But in terms of like the people I work with, a lot of the doctors I work with, they all drive like Land Rovers, they're like $130,000, $140,000 vehicles. Overpriced, but it's what you get on the East Coast. This guy's gonna be empty pretty soon. I should probably stop you. Let's get refilled here. I do like the looks of the new GMC Denali's, the 2019s, and I'm very eager to see what the new C8 Corvette looks like, which is apparently coming out in 2020, which is going to be a mid-engine Corvette. Yeah, I mean, nothing against the Denali. Denali's are great trucks. My dad just got one. However, I think they're overpriced. You know, they're actually like 10 grand compared to the next level. You don't really get another additional 10 grand worth of truck. So it's definitely overpriced, but it depends on what your values are. I'd rather have probably a 3/4 ton diesel truck, just because that thing's built to last. I don't need it. I don't need the capabilities of the truck, but I know if I buy it, it's gonna, you know, last me 10 plus years minimum. Exactly, gets you the Denali badge. You know, whatever. My dad retired at 59 and a half. He's got the money. He bought it. He likes it. So who really cares? That's a personal decision. But you're right. That's pretty much all it gets you is a badge. In a different world. I'd rather buy a luxury truck than a luxury car. Like I've been looking at some BMWs and like the Audi A7s or the 650 BMWs, and you know, they're expensive vehicles. They're great vehicles, but when you look at what they're worth 3 years later, they lose their value so quickly compared to like what a luxury truck is, especially a diesel. You know, the nice thing about the Denali line is they offer that at 2,500, so you can actually have a decent heavy-duty pickup that retains its value compared to like all the luxury vehicles. Vehicles, all they are is just pure expense, but some vehicles are less expensive than the others in terms of what you get when you trade it in. What's very interesting is a lot of the 1500 trucks are starting to get 8 and 10 speed transmissions with small diesel engines, so it's going to be kind of interesting how these trucks, the values hold up over time. In terms of, if you ever buy these vehicles, in terms of fuel savings, are stupid because you're never going to recoup your costs in fuel savings. Well, actually, you might. During this whole Trump trade war retardation, the rising fuel costs, you actually might recoup your costs, but now that fuel levels are over $3 a gallon, definitely over $3 a gallon for diesel fuel, probably towards the end of summer, you're probably going to be close to $4 a gallon. It's going to be hard to say. You know, I gotta feel bad for farmers, because this whole Make America Great thing by this current administration is really fucking the American farmers over. in a bad way. Tariffs, putting tariffs on crops, so they're not able to export as much as they used to. That makes the outside competition, like Brazil, which is huge in soybean production. The whole conservative base is really getting screwed over, especially farmers. But gotta say, gotta see that coming. You know, and now, you know, this whole administration is huge on coal and fossil fuel, which, don't get me wrong, I'm not a huge fan of paying over $3 a gallon for a tank, you know, a gallon of gasoline, but in regards to agriculture, that's bad. That's bad news for farmers that farm a lot of corn, because ethanol plants, they just can't keep up. If you incentivize petroleum, you know, your ethanol plants, they can't compete. They need high petroleum prices to compete. And farmers like ethanol plants. Last time I checked. It's very weird because, you know, you see a lot of farmers as Republicans and conservatives, but they're really voting against their best interests by being so conservative. Proof is in the pudding, as they say. You know what really needs to happen is some area of this country needs to get really fucked over by a natural disaster, and everyone else will be okay. So the only benefit I would say business owners, including farmers, had in this election cycle is the tax legislation. But, you know, when you reduce your net income to zero by writing off all of your expenses, depreciating your investments against your net income, you pay no tax anyways. So, really, maybe, probably not. Probably no benefit, actually. I know my tax bill increased. So we're just hammering out these tiny little fields. They're not actually that. A big tornado, for sure. That's gonna help better than any kind of tax legislation. Pussy. As someone used to say. Speaking of tornado, Giants need to take a freaking lesson from SimFarm and incorporate National disasters like tornadoes, or locusts, or pesticides, or fungi. That needs to happen. Anyways, I've been streaming for like a minute 55. I'm gonna call it a night here. This guy's doing his tillage thing. This guy's doing his planting thing. The guy was doing his shredding. This guy's doing his mowing thing. Anyways, I'm gonna call it a night. Thanks for watching. We'll probably be here back here tomorrow night.